everybody. Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Happy Hour virtual style with me, Matt, and 11 Winery. We're going to have Steven getting with us in a second. Hey, Mike. Hello, everybody. Martha, Craig, Melissa, Rob, Kelsey. Hey, Chuck. How's everybody doing out there? Steven.
We're live.
We're so live. We're super
We're so
live.
we're pumped right now.
Hey,
Got
Maria.
a big audience today.
Hey, let's make the most of it. How's it been going down there today? It's kind of a gray, cloudy day. Has it been?
Really good. It's going really well. Somebody was super enthusiastic about the Sweet Sarah Port and purchased a case.
Very nice.
Uh, so that was cool. And other than that, I've been trying to figure out how to maintain the poof.
I've been trying to figure out how to reduce my poof because man,
Yeah,
I need a haircut.
it's a little tall in the middle. Yeah, pretty good. How about yours?
Some days are better than others. Some days are a little bit like this.
Whoa. Yeah.
Um,
Coffee chasing wine.
I found that it's the coffee's handing off the baton to the wine. See, is what's happening there.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. That is. Did you
Um,
draw that?
yes, full
Well
on.
done.
I did
Well done.
not find that on the internet and print it out at all. Whew, worked up a sweat. Um,
So, someone told me you have a new joke. I was like, all
oh,
right.
I know a great coronavirus joke.
Oh God. Okay.
And I mean, you probably won't get it.
Okay.
That was
Was
it.
that the joke?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
You know, they said all you need to go to the grocery store is a mask and gloves. It's not true, man. Everybody else is wearing clothes.
That's right. They're protected. Well done.
Um, well, everybody, welcome to the 11 Winery Virtual Happy Hour, bringing together the 11 Nation for great wine fun, virtual online style. We are live on Instagram and Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you can see Steven right down there. If you're on Facebook, you can hear Steven
Hello.
through your speaks. Make sure I'm turned up. And there's his name there, so you know who he is and what we're tasting. Um, because just because you're staying home and staying safe does not mean you have to stay sober. I give you permission to not be sober this whole time.
Yes.
Um, well, I am Matt Albee, founder and winemaker of 11 Winery, and this is.
Stephen Schreck, happiness engineer at 11 Winery.
And today we are tasting the 2018 Viognier, as we like to say
Yes.
here at 11 Winery, from Sugarloaf Vineyard, out in the Yakima Valley, just at the very western end of the Yakima Valley, just past Union Gap. You can see it from the highway if you know just where to look and when to glance over. Um, let's get into it.
Hey Matt, guess what?
Chicken butt. No.
Yes. um,
What? What?
so Robin and Armathia are. I think I saw them join the chat here. They are both drinking the same Viognier with us.
Excellent, excellent. Mike and
Yeah.
Robin, right on. Mike and Robin, and our mate that.
So, oh, and Mike.
Right,
Mike is
right on.
hello to Mike.
Um, Definitely let us know if others of you out there are tasting along with us, or if you've got something else in your glass, let us know what you're tasting. We're always curious what people are drinking. Um, oh man, one of the amazing things about Viognier is the aroma.
hmm You know, I can smell it before I even put my nose up to it. I can actually smell it like in the air when I pour it.
Yeah, yeah, it just leaps out of the glass. Oh
It
man.
springs forward.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm. Um, so that was one of the very first things I learned about Viognier. The very first vintage of Viognier that we did was in like 10 years ago in 2010.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and it was one of the it was probably the second year that we started getting fruit from Sugarloaf, and Sweet Petite, rubbing it in. Other people don't have that. Um,
Mhm.
that's what I think that's Melissa, Axel Blue the Pomsky.
Yeah,
Um,
I was like, who's Axel Blue?
that's that's Melissa of Colawino. Um,
Oh,
hello, Renee, joining us on Instagram. Um, so that first vintage of 2010, at that point we were still fermenting all the whites in small tanks that are only yay tall, um, and it smelled so damn good just
yeah,
fermenting, and it would just kind of it would the aroma would come out of the fermenting tank and just hang around there, and just like every time I walked past it I just wanted to just stop and stand
yeah,
there. It was
yeah.
amazing.
It's
um,
just a beautiful aromatics for sure.
yeah, that um, that 2010 might still be my favorite of all the vintages of Viognier. No, I don't remember every wine that I've ever made off the top of my head, but that one really stands out. I'm still going.
Wow. And was there something special about 2010 that you think
Oh
contributed to
man,
that? Or?
I have absolutely no idea.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Mm,
and the Viognier at Sugarloaf is planted down at the bottom in kind of a swale, um, and so it runs like downhill and then across the bottom and then up the other side a little bit. So there's a lot of variation in the terrain, um,
yeah,
and like I've noticed walking through the vineyard there, like it really matters where you are in there, like and the ripening is different in different places. So maybe we just got lucky that year.
yeah.
I don't know. Oyster-based Sauv Blanc. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good combination
I
for
forgot
sure.
about that. Doo, 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 doo.
So you were saying that in the fields there, so
Hmm.
the Viognier grapes that you get, are they from the same block year after year? Do you get them from the same location?
Uh, yeah, not just the same block, the same rows.
Oh, okay. So you can
Hmm.
potentially no one can access those. Those are your Viognier grapes.
They're mine. Stay hands off. Um, yes. So we like with all our varieties, we know we have our rows uh, pre-selected and pretty much the same every year. I mean, as we grow, we have to add additional rows in.
Hmm.
Um, but for the most part, it's the same rows year after year. And so when I'm out there, I'm walking through my rows and taking samples from my grapes. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I've gotten to know them. I know where the badger holes are.
The badger
So
hole.
I don't
Don't
fall
fall
into the
in.
badger holes when I'm walking down the.
Those damn badgers.
Oh my gosh. Luckily, I've never seen a badger. I don't really want to see a badger, but the holes are pretty big. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
You could really injure yourself, Matt, and
you
then
could
we won't
seriously,
do
like,
what
if you
we
stepped in there, ooh, yeah.
no more Viognier. That would be terrible.
I almost don't want to drink it. It just smells so damn good.
So I have a question about the Viognier.
Mm.
Um,
I will
so
make up an answer.
okay, that's good. That's what we do here. So a lot of people who come in, I'm just kidding. A lot of people come into the tasting room. They might have never heard of Viognier before,
What?
and I know. I was like,
Seriously?
yeah, yeah. It's like it's not super common, but they're like, what is this? Is this type of grape or like what's going on? And I kind of explained to them that Viognier is just this extremely versatile varietal, and it's used a lot of different styles. But I'm curious, like when it came onto the scene, you said it was 2010, but what was the thought behind that? Did you want to do it as a single varietal or do some experimentation with it?
Um, Plan that year was definitely to do a varietal wine. Yeah. And my prior experience with Viognier had not been that great. Uh, and so most of my early wine education was in California because I lived in the Bay Area for 5 years, and that was where my wife introduced me to the whole concept of wine tasting and dragged me out wine tasting, and I fell in love with it. And so a lot of my early experiences were with California wines. And at that point, I mean, that was before Washington really started to take off. So there wasn't any, and there certainly wasn't any Washington wine in California. Um, In fact,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people in California still don't know about that Washington even makes wine. They're very
They're very narrow.
well, most of the wine in the country is made in something like 95% of the wine in the country is made in California. But yeah, so their focus can be a little bit narrow. Well said.
Yeah.
So, hey, more for us. So anyway, the Viogniers that they made in California, I found like time over time, California Viognier very floral, very perfumey, and
Mm.
not to my taste at all. Um, not a huge fan of the perfume stuff in wine. Um, and then I tasted some Washington Viognier, and I'm like, it's still got fantastic aromatics, but it's not
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of sickly, perfumey kind of. Ugh, like
It's
this
it's
really
great.
does. It's yeah. I mean, it's like flower blossoms and fruit and peaches and honey and like all that fantastic stuff, and same in the mouth, and still has can have some decent crispness in the mouth. So
Hmm.
it's just great stuff.
Yeah, one of the things I tell people who visit us here and try our Viognier is, the reaction to it is always very positive. It's like every time you sip it, it's a new adventure, which I think is where the A part comes from. Because every time, I swear, you always get a different flavor. So it's got a lot of complexity to it for sure.
Yeah, um, very enjoyable to drink. Very dynamic. And uh, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Damn it!
That's okay.
But difficult to pronounce. Probably I would use working in the tasting room.
Oh
Like
my God.
one of the wines that people have the most difficulty pronouncing because
Yeah,
the actual pronunciation looks nothing like the word at all, um, which is why we have a pronunciation guide on our menu.
yeah, and even then, people get nervous. They're like, I want to try this one. I'm like, go ahead and say it. Go ahead. And they're like, no, no, no. I'm like, there's a phonetic code if you want it, if you want to try. Um, but I only,
Bone, yay! It's
yeah, John Brenner. He always has the hands up when he does it. It's great.
yay!
No, people call it Viognier, and it hurts my ears. It's like
Uh,
scratching. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It's not good.
yeah. I think Siri actually does a better job of transcribing it if you pronounce it really wrong. Siri's terrible
Oh,
with wine varietal names. I don't know if you've noticed that, but oh, you don't have. You're a whatever.
no, I have an iPad.
Oh yeah. In case your people have forgotten what we're drinking, 2018 Viognier Sugarloaf Vineyard.
Oh yeah,
John
delicious.
Brenner. John Brenner's on Facebook. That's how
Oh,
he
he is. Okay,
rolls.
good. Okay, good. So he's with us. Um, so you contrasted nicely the differences between the California um, experience you
Oh,
had, but
are you gonna ask me about French wine again?
no.
Okay, phew. I
Oh
had a tough
God.
about French wine. Um,
Okay.
I mean, I think the French make white wine fantastic, fantastico. I love the French white wines. Um,
Yes.
but I haven't had that many French Viogniers, so I can't really speak to French Viogniers too much. And even when Sarah and I were fortunate enough to travel to ride our bikes around the Rhone a little bit last summer, um, I think we must not have been in a part where they grew a lot of Viognier. We saw mostly red wines and
Oh, okay.
not so much Viognier. Um, yeah, so I haven't had a lot of them.
So Maria asks, do you have all the vintages come from Sugarloaf for the Viognier?
Um, yes. Yep. Same block. Yeah, all of them.
For going on
And
8 years now. That's
the my approach to Viognier has certainly changed quite a bit over the vintages, um, and and not just Viognier, but some of the other grapes as well, like towards harvesting a little bit earlier, getting a little bit more fresh fresh fruity flavors, trying to preserve that in the wine.
yeah,
Um, and with Viognier it's tricky because the longer you wait, the riper you let it get, like the more aromatics you get, the more kind of lush, ripe aromatics. But then the wine itself gets you run the risk of getting overripe and sort of you know soft and flabby and overripe. And I mean overripe fruit's no good. I mean, it
yeah,
doesn't taste good. Um,
right.
so and one of the things that's been really interesting for me in doing these tastings is tasting a lot of our wines um, against the new vintage, like 1 year old and the newly bottled vintage from last month side by side, um,
Hmm.
which is not something I've done a lot of previously. So, and it really highlight. And with the white wines, I've known forever that the red wines, like, they evolve, in a really nice way in that first year. Um,
Yeah.
the white wines go through a big evolution in that first year too, and like with the Pinot Grigio, I think they lose a little bit of that youthful freshness. I mean, they're still delicious and fruity, but they give the impression of being a little bit more ripe. It's almost like they lose
Yeah.
the underripeness. I mean, if they're, I mean, I shouldn't say underripeness because I don't think we're picking things underripe, but the less ripe part of the fruit spectrum is the first to diminish. So you're
Hmm.
after a year, you've got kind of the more ripe part of the fruit spectrum, and so like our Pinot Grigio, which is really crisp and light, um, after a year, it tastes a little bit richer and a little bit softer, and
Yeah.
same with the Viognier. So I mean, they're definitely, even the white wines are definitely, they're different after a year, um, in a way that's dramatic and distinct.
So can you age white wines? Like I know there's a lot of people out there that ask me, how long can you age a white wine for?
You
Like,
can. I mean, I I don't recommend it. I mean, that's just my personal preference. I like fresh and fruity for my white wines.
yeah.
Um, so can you? I mean, there are people who, you know, argue that you can, sure, but I mean, ultimately, all wine it's a perishable food product. Um, so can you? Yes. Should you? Maybe.
You should probably
But
drink
it
it. You
doesn't it
should drink.
doesn't have the it doesn't have the I mean, white wine does not have the tannins that need to soften. Sometimes red wines, and as we talked about yesterday, like cooler climate red wines can have a lot of tannin, be really grippy and acidic and kind of not that pleasant initially, and over time that those tannins can soften and integrate and become really lovely. Um,
Yeah.
but white wines just don't have that. They just don't have those tannins because they're not fermented with the skins until Thursday. Um,
Gotcha.
shh. Um,
Gotcha.
and so they just don't need the time, and they're not going to improve in the same way. Um,
Got it.
yeah,
So
and some
drink.
and some people really like old wine. I'm just not a huge fan of old wine. I mean, I've heard people rave about old Burgundy, which is Chardonnay, and that stuff can have high acid. Um, I mean, like we said, like the aging tends to diminish fruit flavors and allow other flavors to come forward. So, if you like other flavors more than fruit flavors, then maybe
Maybe okay.
that's
There
your
you go.
that's your non-jam, as they would say.
So
As the kids are saying these days. That's my jam. Um,
yeah. See, I laugh at the jokes that that are never mind. Never mind. Are you gonna do an experiment today?
what's your jam, Stephen?
What's my jam?
What's your jam?
Ah, man, actually, I picked up on painting.
Painting?
Yeah,
Seriously?
yeah. I'm actually so
What?
there's an app on
A painting
the
app?
on a tablet. It's called Procreate, and I'm trying to create an underwater scene. And this is what I have so far. It's the ocean. It's just
Wait,
open
wait.
up.
Is it? I like it. Is
Yeah.
it is it considered painting if there's no paint involved?
Um, touche. I don't know.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
Virtual e-painting, eye painting.
Yeah, eye painting. Yeah, it's really cool actually. Maybe I should paint an 11, scenery with bikes and wine and whatnot. That'd be cool.
Whew. That sounds like next level painting. Um,
It is. Yeah.
Craig from Colorado says he likes Riesling aged and unaged. I've heard people say they like aged champagne, which I could totally see because that like those grapes are harvested really unripe. And so aging, and like your champagnes tend to have like intense green apple, like Granny Smith, like uh, acidity and grip to them, and that grip can come from the malic acid as well as a little bit of tannins. So over time, those things can soften and become a little bit more approachable. Um,
Hmm.
uh, Mike
So
and Ryan want to know, is Matt ever at the winery on the weekends when it's open to the
yeah,
public? And
pre-coronavirus.
not. Uh, I try and well, let's see. Not these days, honestly, not so much. Um, for the first 10 years, yes, I like every weekend. And now maybe not so much. I have a kid who's going off to college in the fall, and another one who's entering high school in the fall, assuming that school is still a thing that happens. And so, I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with my family before they.
Yeah. But if you do want to catch Matt, you can see him at our club parties if we
Club
have some.
parties, yep. I'm always at the wine club release parties. Oh,
Yeah.
always, and
Oh,
pretty much, unless
yeah.
unless something extraordinary happens. So wine club release parties, and man, I'm at the winery like every day during harvest. If you want to come by,
Yeah.
from like September and October, every day.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially during harvest season. Yeah, exactly. You'll see. He'll be there all the
just roll
time.
on by. Um, and what else? When else am I at the winery? During the week. I'm less entertaining during the week.
Yeah. So, Matt, do you have another Viognier there that
Or
you're
or at the winemaker dinners, which will someday resume. I swear to God.
right?
So
Those are
help me God, we will have winemaker dinners again.
with JJ.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
C Squared Cider is joining us. Greetings, welcome. Um,
Speaking of food, what would you pair with this? I know, Robin, do you have? I don't know if you're snacking on anything right now.
Viognier. Um, hang on one sec. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay. In the meantime, I will keep you guys company. I'm sure he won't be gone that long. I poured myself a little extra.
All
Oh,
right,
there he is.
we did a little bit of food and wine pairing tasting. Let's see. Viognier goes well with so we did some stuff here at the winery. We did some tasting with the food items that we had available here. Um,
Oh, that's right. That was fun.
and so this is actually your work, Stephen. Um,
Oh, sweet.
Partly. Uh, so it went well with the New Moon cheese. New Moon cheese is like a mild white cheddar kind of thing, and Cirrus was like the Cirrus cheese. These are cheeses that you can't buy anymore. Wait, do you have the New Moon down there?
No, we do not have the new moon. We have, well, I can't see it from here, but we do not,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Uh, um, bum, bum, bum. Smoked salmon. Curiously, smoked salmon, which I thought was going to be impossible to pair with anything.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
we found a bunch of wines. The Viognier was smoked salmon. So out of the stuff that we had available, smoked salmon and kind of mild white cheeses like Monterey Jack-ish cheese or um, Camembert
Yeah.
were kind of the things. I mean, I would also have this with like tiny Thai food.
Oh, Thai would be great. Thai would be amazing for sure. Yeah. That's what I would go for. Anything with noodles.
If you're going to be a winery on Bainbridge, you have to go with Thai food. You have to have wines that go with Thai food because we have like 6 Thai food places.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm hungry for
We're,
Thai. Thanks
we're
a
all Thai
lot.
all the time.
So, Matt, when was what was the first vintage?
Spicy maple. So Armeta had spicy maple chicken, mashed sweet potatoes, and roasted green beans. I, and did it go well? That sounds perfect.
That sounds amazing.
Spicy maple chicken.
Good
Wow,
job, Armita.
that all
Maybe
sounds like really smart pairings, actually. Aged Irish cheddar. See, that's
that
like
seems a
that's
little.
no, but that's the ringer, and that's like the yeah, of course, because sharp cheddar, as we discovered during the same tasting, sharp cheddar is like the answer for everything when it comes to wine. Like sharp cheddar, virtually every wine goes with sharp cheddar. It's
Oh, I need to get some sharp cheddar
that
then.
that's your wine cheese right there.
See, that's valuable information you can only get during these types of conversations. You know, people don't know that, but There's a lot of valuable insight that comes out of these tastings.
So much, so
So
much.
much. Yeah. As a matter of fact, here's another question.
How does it
Does
taste
this
from the
taste like?
bottle? Right. I knew you were going to
Yeah,
ask that.
do it. Do it. Oh,
Hmm.
amazing. Well done.
Um,
2018.
fantastic from the bottle, I gotta say. John Brenner says it's good with poached halibut. That sounds good.
Oh, wow. John Brenner raising the ante there.
Ooh,
Very nice.
Dane Stark, my winemaking mentor from Page Mill Winery in Livermore Valley, says something with honey like baklava. That sounds fantastic too. I think that sounds perfect. Yeah. Um,
Obviously, everybody's eating really delicious food right now or thinking about it.
I'm definitely thinking about it. My son supposedly is making tortilla soup and guacamole for dinner.
Wow.
Um, so maybe I'll try this with tortilla soup and guacamole and see how we do.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good time. Starting the night the right way. Right on.
It's only very small sips.
That's good.
Didn't you have a question about, you were going to ask me about glassware, right? So this is the perfect, this is your segue right here for
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yes.
glassware
So
conversation.
Matt is drinking out of a very narrow situation, and I've noticed that we a lot of people comment
But then
on
I
these.
am aerating once I get it in my mouth.
Yeah, you're doing the whole little bubble action situation. So our glassware is pretty awesome. Obviously, a lot of people comment on it. It's got this nice, is that concave or convex? Concave? I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Just the shape of the glass is very. It's got, you
Convex
know.
is like this, and concave is like that.
So we're convex then?
What are you talking about? It's a
Just the shape.
glass.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I've
Well,
seen
it's
a
a
couple
circle.
different types. Yeah. So I've seen like big glasses that don't have this, angle to them. There's all different types of glassware out there, and I'm just curious if it matters, depending on, the type of wine you're drinking.
Um, uh, that would be fun to do, actually. Maybe we should do that on this program, is
Yeah,
get some different glasses and try the same wine out of different glasses and see how we go.
yeah.
That would be easy to do. I mean, I don't have a lot of different shaped glasses, but my experience is, yeah, totally. Because, and I think the reason, the biggest part of that is like the taste buds on your tongue are not evenly distributed. You've got like I don't remember exactly how it is, like sweet up front and salty in the back and bitter on the sides. So like the order in which the wine hits those different parts of your mouth very much affects how your perception of the wine. So like a narrower glass is going to kind of direct it down the middle, and a wider one might direct it more to the sides, and that can actually have a big difference on your experience of the wine.
Wow, that's really cool. I had no idea. I knew there was a reason. I just didn't know, that it was so specific. Awesome. Cool. Oh, and also,
Mike and Robin need one more glass. We can ship you a glass, guys.
yeah, it's fine. We can air pour. It's fine.
Uh, no worries. Well, the cool thing about wine glasses, they fit into a wine shipper really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yeah,
you
don't
put
worry,
the
Robin. We'll
bottle,
get
where
you
you
some
put the bottle, you put the
more.
glass in. Um, all right. Well, uh, do you have more burning questions, or
I do. I have one more. I was wondering when Viognier was first incorporated into another vintage, aside from it being a single varietal.
you mean in like another blend?
Yeah.
Into
Yeah.
when did we first blend with Viognier? Um, I would guess it was probably so the Ratio Blanco um, we've been doing for a lot of years, the same kind of blend, 55-44 Viognier Sauv Blanc. Um, and that's probably been 5-6 years that we've been doing that. Um, hey Stephen, question for you. What are all the wines that we make that have Viognier in them?
Ooh, I love this question. Okay, here we go. So we have the Ratio Blanco, as you just mentioned. That was an easy one. So thank you for prepping me with that. The Syrah Prima Donna is co-fermented with Viognier.
Very nice.
Um, we have the Viognier O, which is the orange version of the Viognier. Let's see what else has the Viognier.
Orange version,
The orange version, everybody. I don't want to give any secrets away because that's
orange
happened.
wine. Orange wine.
Orange,
Google orange wine and join us on Thursday for that.
yeah, yeah. Let's see what else has the Viognier in it. I know I'm missing something. Am I missing something?
Do you get the ratio Rosso?
Shoot, that's right. The Ratio Rosso and a touch in the Ratio Rosso. I think that's so. There's quite a bit of Viognier going on, guys. A lot of fun.
Um, all right. So we got Viognier. Viognier is just super fun varietal. Brings and it's very aromatic. A lot of complexity. Light, crisp, just remarkable. The Laurent, Ted and or Cece are suggesting the Laurent.
Well, we tried that yesterday, didn't we? Now.
Oh, right. I remember what he's suggesting. Okay, here we go. So, as many of you know, we've been doing this thing where we ask, how does that taste with Viognier?
Oh, this is gonna be crazy because it's I don't know Viognier and Viognier.
But
I don't know
today
how
we're
you're gonna
drinking
do
the
that.
Viognier, so putting more Viognier in the Viognier is like, what?
Kind of weird, right? Natalia, what do you think?
So yesterday, uh, Ted, one of our Founders Club members, suggested after we put Viognier in the Laurent, he said, tomorrow you should put Laurent in the Viognier. Okay, so
That is good. Okay, so that's
so I
area
did
switch.
it. So I did an experiment a bunch of years ago. I wanted to know like how much, like if you're looking at a rosé, nice pink rosé, what like how many more times color is that? Like in a red wine, how much more color is there in a red wine? So like if you
I'm
take a,
following right. I'm
in
following
other
right.
words, like how much red wine colorness does it take to make rosé, right? And so I took some red wine and just like a little bit and measured it and added it to some white wine, and it was 4%. It only takes 4% to make a nice pink wine. Um, so, um, so the color density in red wines is like a lot, 25 times what you would find in a rosé. Okay, so here we go. Here we got Laurent, 2017 Laurent. Here we have Viognier.
Small amount,
Smells
long way.
amazing.
Here we go.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa, whoa.
So that's a lot more. That's a lot more than 4%, as you can tell.
Yeah,
Because
but now it looks like the Prodigy.
it's lighter than that. I mean,
Oh, really?
it may look like it on camera, but I mean that's probably 8%.
Okay.
Woo. So
I can't believe you just did that. Amazing.
so it's definitely what's I'm getting a lot of caramel out of this now, which is interesting. Um,
Really, caramel. Caramel or caramel?
I don't know, caramel, whatever. Uh,
It's all good.
which is it's kind of it's an oak. It's a thing that you sometimes get from oak, but I wouldn't have picked it up directly in the Laurent. Things, flavors and aromas combine in mysterious ways. Okay.
By the way, Maria, the answer is the 2018. 2018. Much better.
Well, I'd say that pretty much kicks ass.
Really? Oh, you get
Really
to,
good.
wow.
So, wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, the caramel's really coming through in the mouth as well as in the nose. Um, that's fascinating.
This is why.
It's one of the mysteries of wine. Like, why do flavors are mysterious.
This is probably one of my favorite things about doing this is all these like crazy experiments that we're doing, and sometimes you get a huge winner. So pretty awesome.
So, I mean, yeah, I think people often are like afraid to do this kind of thing at home, but it's great fun.
Yeah, mix and match, have fun. I mean, you don't have to use the whole, the whole.
Winemakers are not gods. It's okay. It's okay to mess with their stuff,
That's right. That's right. You can mess with all of that.
even if it costs a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
You can fool around with it.
Live it up,
They
you
don't
know.
they don't have all the answers.
Antioxidants, you gotta have them.
Oh, you know the other thing we got to do. I've heard like if you get like you can buy like black glasses, um, black wine glasses, so
Oh wow.
you can't see what color the wine is. I've heard that like a significant percentage of people cannot tell the difference between white wine and red wine
What?
if they can't see the color.
What? That's
Sounds
crazy.
crazy, right?
Oh, we should do that. Oh, we should do that. Oh, that should be one of our things that we do.
Yeah.
I'm super excited now.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's like,
All right.
no.
Well,
No, I'm just
this
kidding.
is this is really fun.
This is awesome. Yeah, I wish I.
Uh, wow, that's craziness. That's not what I was expecting at all. Cool deal. All right, everybody. I gotta get home. Uh, I got a winery alliance meeting starting at 6:30, so I gotta get on Zoom and I gotta have dinner. So, hey, if you have had fun, tell your friends, please. Let more people know about our virtual wine tasting and virtual happy hours and have them join. Um, and thank you guys for joining us. Thank you all to our regulars. I appreciate it. Um, uh, it's been super fun tasting with you guys as always. And you, Steven, if you guys are running out of wine, don't run out of wine. You know where to find us. We will sell you more. We got plenty. Dude, do we ever?
Say
And
hello to Natalia.
what's that?
Oh, I said come say hello to Natalia tomorrow.
Thanks, Melissa. Oh, yeah. Come down to the tasting room. Wander by the tasting room. Doors open. You don't have to touch anything. Say hello to Natalia. Say hello to Steven. Free shipping on 6 or more bottles. Free delivery on Bainbridge Island. And as always, doesn't matter if your glass is half full or half empty, it's got room for more wine. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.